Thank you very much for all yours, for your presence, um, and for the opportunity to come in the game. So obviously, as you said, it was a very tough game. Not much far away from what we expected, um, in terms of the approach that Esperance had on the game. We knew that something similar would happen, a team playing from the back, trying to explore the positioning of Blayley to connect and the speed of Elias mostly and the Ansas. We predicted that Blayley could play as a 9 and then changing positions with the other forwards, and that playing from the back would allow them to try to explore our spaces. But we also knew very well what we had to do in terms of offensive game. But I have to confess that at halftime I was not really excited about what he did in terms of the commitment between what we knew that was supposed to be done in order to deblock that defense and what we really did. But sometimes the opponents also have their own responsibility, in this case positive, to not allow us to play the way we wanted. They narrowed the middle more than all, and we were not clever enough to understand that we had to make this a lot, to shift game left, right, left, right, to make tired those midfielders and then to open them and find the spaces to enter. And we insisted a lot in inside game when it was not supposed to happen. And even from this moment, sometimes you can suffer counterattacks because you are playing inside and the players, they just need to get out in the frontal movement. So, but we coped very well with their transitions. So despite it was not a beautiful first half, I think it was we had the game under control. I think we had 83% of ball possession, but we didn't enter the box the number of times that we needed, the way we needed to enter. So at half time was very important, not only to make the boys understand that they had to bring more brain inside the pitch. And more brain is exactly commitment between the plan and the intention to keep on doing. I think we made very good 20 minutes from the second half, where we found the spaces and we took the ball on the spaces, because the spaces were there, but we were not taking the ball there. And from there we created moments and more involvement in the last part of the pitch. It's in a situation like that we scored. And obviously that there was a reaction, and we lost a little bit again the way that we should keep on going, let's say. Anyway, it's half of the match, 90 minutes plus something more minutes, some extra time to be played. We know where we are, we know the responsibility, and we know what we have ahead, so let's try to prepare ourselves in the best way so that we can win the match in Tunis. That is obviously our objective.
Thank you, Coach. We'll have questions, your name and publication, please. Let's start with Karabo. If we could keep it to one question, colleagues, just for the sake of time, please.
Good afternoon, Coach. Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
Karabo Pasha, BBC Sport. Coach, just a quick one. The previous coach was here. He's calm, he's relaxed, no nerves. You know, I think he knows that this is the first part of the game. Can you just take us into confidence? What are the little details when you go away? Because, you know, he's so confident, he's relaxed, he knows that, you know, something is coming out in Tunis. Just take us into confidence, the small details that goes into a CAF Champions League match away from home.
For me, it's a match like any other one. My job is to make the players believe that the match is just a match like any other one. Because there's only 11 players inside the pitch. The crowd or the fans, they don't play. The referee will be for sure the one that will most want to keep the game and not make mistakes, so he'll be neutral. So 11 players, they have to play football. They have their strengths. I know what they believe. They believe on Champions League nights. They lived wonderful Champions League nights, turning around results. They were Champions League winners, changing results from 2-0 and changing them home and winning the Champions League. That's why they believe on that. But I also believe we can win there. But my job is to make our players believe that they can win there. Because if you go there and play for a draw, you will lose. because this team will be another team. The team of Esperance at home will be another team. Anyway, they also know that if they suffer a goal, that can be tricky, very tricky for them then. So the relax of the coach is the trust he has on his players. We are also relaxed, but and that is respect for the competition, respect for what we have ahead, because matches are 120 minutes on this. I also know what we expect, but I also know what we can do. So let's hope we are committed enough with our capacities, we don't leave nothing out, and we play to win. Because to pass this fourth of final of Champions League, next match must be played to win, not to get a draw. Otherwise, you don't come from there with the result.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks. Afternoon, Coach Miguel. Coach, you just spoke about how much you control the game, the possession that you had. But when you look at the chances created, you didn't do much to hit Esperance. Is that something that concerns you? Or do you look at the glass half full to say you got the result, and also Sundowns just beat Esperance for the first time in after playing them for 3 times previously? Do you look at the glass half full to say we got the result and we just beat this team for the first time? Or do you have a concern at the back of your head to say we didn't apply ourselves enough to win this game very convincing?
No, the question of convincing and not convincing is not a really clear concern from the part of anyone. For sure, not from us. A 0-0 result home would be a positive result. A 1-0 home is a very positive result, but it doesn't mean nothing. So what I think is that always my job is to push the players for performance, because I think that correlation between performance and results happens more naturally than performance with bad results. So I have to push them for performance, for quality football. But believe that Champions League matches are for grown-ups and not for kids, and not for naive players. If you suffer a goal in the last 10 minutes when Esperance appear on the pitch, then you'll be crying in this moment because you give them a strong advantage. My job is to cope with the moments, but believing that I think that we have to play there to win. But playing there to win is not also being naive in the way you attack. We need to know how to attack them, because there's always a moment when you're attacking and you suffer from that, and that is the moment where Esperance is very strong. So we have to cope with the spaces we need to attack, covering the spaces. We need to be very wise on the moment you lose the ball, how to relate, not to make mistakes on that. You need to be very aggressive on set pieces, because we have good headers on set pieces. But they also will have to worry about us, because we can score there. We've been scoring everywhere. So that is the question. I'm not extra positive in terms of the way, I'm just conscious about what I have had. A very strong team of Mamelodi Sundowns can go through this fourth of final. So that's what I hope, is to arrive there and be very, very, very strong as a team. If we'll do it, I think we'll be more close to achieve what we want. If we don't play in our limits and they do it, then we'll suffer, because they will be pushed until the last minute. But it's football. As you said, what are the ambience of Champions League? Champions League is bring the best from the players. Emotions. That's how I felt when there were the big games, the big players, they appear. I think we need to push that, but it must be from the players themselves. Let's prepare ourselves in the best way, recover now, fly there, arrive, check who is in the best conditions, and approach the game in the best way.
Thank you, Coach. Tsakon.
Coach, Tsakon from Soccer Lab. You gave an opportunity to Thapelo Maseko today. Just your thinking behind that substitution. I think the last time he played was February. So why today in a game of this magnitude? And what have you been doing with him in terms of trying to get him back into the team?
Good question. Maseko has been training very well. He has not been playing regularly, it's true, but he has been on the group. And when a player is regularly on the group, it means that we trust. And he has specific characteristics, and we thought that in the moment the game was, we could profit from the characteristics that he had. He's a player that is very quick, he understands the spaces on the back of the defense. He has been training with us for those characteristics and highlighting those characteristics on him. So that's what we wanted to, but we didn't serve him the right way, because he must be served on the space. He's a player to be served on the space and not on the feet, with the center backs that are much more powerful on the contact than him. So we should play the ball out of the action of the center backs. So it didn't really work out. That didn't work. But the intention, I think, was completely correct on putting him on the pitch. So pretty satisfied with the work he does every day. That's why he played.
Coach Maskepa from Power. You are in a similar position that you were in the last season, even though you were coaching the Esperance. When you look at where you are now, compared to where you were last season, are you finding it to be maybe similar in the expectations of the opponents? And now that you know Esperance, your approach as you go there, is it going to be maybe more similar to what they were doing, hoping to get those set pieces, long balls, or are you just going to go there and just play?
This team is not used to play long balls and wait for a set piece. It's not the way usually Sundowns plays itself on the games. So when you take the players out of your comfort zone and you put them to play in a discomfort situation, I don't think that's the best thing to approach. Let's see how we're going to approach. Obviously, we need to be intelligent. I don't feel the moment is similar to last year, despite the results. It is, because the teams are different. The match will be different. I think you remember how was the match here. At a certain moment, I was looking in the sky and thinking, are we going to have the same that happened last year? That game last year was a very special one in terms of what was happening and how the game changed. What I believe is that we have to play to win, as I said. But playing to win is find the right way to play to win. That will be our job, trying to do it. One thing I know, since we arrived in a club, that bravery, trust, and courage are values among others that we try to implement in the team. If we'll be enough brave to play there, then we are on the match. If we'll feel less because there's people shouting on the stands, then we'll be not in the right position to face that match. I was there. I felt already brave teams, so I felt brave teams playing against Esperance there, and I felt other teams that when the match started, they feel themselves like small. With this attitude, you don't win there. You need to be brave, because in the end, 4 lines, 11 players, 3 referees, and that's it.
Take the last 2 questions, colleagues.
Excusez-moi.
Guy,
Tu veux ça?
we are recording here.
Ok, no problème, no problème. Ok,
We don't do
on
that.
se voit dans 2
We don't
semaines.
do that.
Ok,
Can you
merci,
please
à bientôt.
Sorry, colleagues. Mr. Miani, please carry on.
Okay. Coach, Champions League or continental football is also about those big players, those characters who come out when the times are tough and make themselves counted. I recall Peter Shabile in Kinshasa coming from the bench, scoring 2 goals during the group stages when it was tough, and again today, and I think he's on 19 goals now overall in the Champions League. How important is to have this type of a player heading to Rades, and also I know Tabang doesn't want to the second question, but the importance of just your weekend game being postponed in terms of your preparations for next week.
Obviously, that I said it on the press conference before the match, that these kind of games must bring the best out of the players. I said to you, I played already many Champions League matches, Europa League matches, Youth League matches, and now CAF Champions League matches. And if the players give and appear, these teams move forward, because we coaches depend on the quality of the players. We are not magicians, and players can make magic, because they are also not magicians, but they can make magic. And that's what needs to happen, is magic moments. Today we made a goal out of an inspiration, fantastic action. So when their fullback was attracted to Sales, Jayden understood there was a hole, and he entered that hole, and from there he served Peter. We depend on these players. We give them tools, nothing more, for them to highlight themselves and understand in which spaces they need to position or to take the ball in order then to bring the best and make that job. That's why at halftime I was so unsatisfied, because there were things that I wanted them to do so that then they could profit from the game. Something like, why you don't do it? Because it's there. There was a way to play against the way Esperance positioned themselves on the pitch. It's just that we depend a lot on players. So let's hope they will bring the best of them. They feel enough brave, and they can meet themselves with the team spirit. But the team spirit there is go there and play football. Try to have the ball as much as possible. Play it from the back, play it in the front, keep it as much as possible, but play to score. Play to score. Even when we'll be defending, because that match there will give different moments, believe me. It will be not a one-sense match, it will be a match where the team will, because at a certain moment it will happen like that. So it's important to understand, to cope with the different moments. When we'll be in defensive organization, to be strong and everybody commits themselves. When we'll have the ball, to position well so that we keep it and aggress them. And to cope very well with the transitions, how we're going to be when you're going to attack, how you get in the back, how you're going to... And then, like today, a game of details. Because out of a detail can happen a goal. We were strong today on the set pieces, we didn't allow them to score. But they had 3-4 set pieces and they are strong. We also can score from set pieces. So a small detail sometimes changes the game. And that's what we need to be 100% committed to, is not make mistakes, not give them the details, and try to explore our moments. It's a football game.
Hi Coach, Daniel from City Press. Before this match, you called for support, and I think the fans came out in numbers today. But the atmosphere not as hostile as what you'll probably get in the second leg in Tunis. For someone who has been there before, what are your expectations? And chances are you're probably gonna be booed as well when you get back there.
Well, I don't really expect to be booed when I arrive there, because I know how I came out from Esperance. I know the relation I have with the fans. But anyway, whatever it is, I always take boos or whistles or as fear. So I respect that people a lot. But I'm just on the other side. I was telling you before the match started, the fact that we are in the different sides doesn't make us enemies. It just make us exactly what we are, playing from the other side. And what you expect in general, I hope I can keep my emotions in the right way, so that all the time I have big respect for the opponents, because they are just friends, colleagues, other people that is trying to do the same job we are trying to do, and they also pray to God, and sometimes to the same God. So why we should position ourselves in a different way, rather exactly than understanding that is a football game. It's a show. It's we are gonna go to the World Cup of Clubs. So what is that competition rather than bringing the best out of people that work on this phenomenon, on this business, and putting them all together to make the world enjoy the game we play. So anyway, over there Champions League matches have a different ambience from the ones on the championship, normal championship, because the rules that CAF induces in the matches are obviously very important to be respected. And it means that the ambience in the stadium becomes more positive and less aggressive, rather than the ones you have in the national championship in Tunisia. Because I played Esperance Club Africain, and I wanted to go home. I wanted to go home and leave my club at that moment. Because it was fight, but pure fight. We were in the warm-up and everybody entered in the pitch. The game was stopped 4 times. There was lacrimogen gas. There was people falling on the space that's around the pitch. There was, and then everybody was put it out. We played until the end without people on the stands, or almost people. So, but that spirit is because of rivalry they have between Club Africa and Esperance. I don't expect that. People in Champions League games and in general, they behave good. They like football. They enjoy football, and they just want to cheer and to push their team forward. So I don't expect rather than that ambience. I confess to you that most of my beautiful or more beautiful memories from matches, they also come from there. Because you will see lights all around the stadium, people with the phones and singing all the time, and it remind me Anfield when I played against Liverpool in fourth of final of or eighth of final of Europa League. I was assistant coach in Braga. It remember me sometimes there. That's how we should leave football. Forget everything around, and in the end accept with fair play whatever happens, and just hope that the best team wins. And I hope we can continue to be the best team as we were today.
Colleagues, that brings us to the conclusion of this press conference. Coach, huge congratulations and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.